Hi, everybody, and welcome to a reading workshop lesson, Monday, week 8. So, I'm Mr. Puga, and what you need is going to be your journal, your reading journal, that is, and a pencil, and your full, undivided focus and attention. Let's get to work. All right, so today I will explain the author's craft and how it helps the author's purpose, like the reason the author is writing that particular text. We will look for sensory words, verbs, and adjectives in a text that gives us a clue about what the author wants us to know, to learn, or to feel. And then you will read the text who studies natural disasters and answer questions about the author's craft in a Google form. All right. So first of all, I want you guys to think about the word craft. What does come to your head when you hear the word craft? I want you to think about it for a second, jot it down in your journal if you need to, and come back whenever you have the answer. So here we go. I'm going to hit the pause button, and when you're ready, come back. So yes, a craft is the skill shown whenever you're doing something. How good you are to do something. That's the craft. By definition, craft is an exercise skill in making something. So, however good you do your drawing, that's your craft. Sometimes here that you do a handcraft. That means that you do something with your hands. Your skill in doing something with your hands. Now, let's move on to what author's craft means. So, author's craft is the language and techniques, skill a writer uses two main things: make his or her writing interesting, appealing to you, something that you want to keep reading, and communicate your ideas in an easier way to the reader. Okay, so that's what an author craft does. So it's the techniques or skills to for you to pay attention and to become interested in the text, but also understand. So we can divide the author craft in various skills or techniques. Let's see the first three. Technique, what is it, and an example. First of all, let's talk about voice. Now, whenever you're reading, you cannot actually hear the sound coming out of the author's mouth, but you can feel the style of writing that the author has, and what makes it his own writing technique unique. So, for example, whenever we're reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid, it kind of has a feeling of the author being uh, Greg Kin. I think his name is Greg Kinnear. Uh, how he conveys ideas to you, and you feel like it's a little boy telling you the story. So an author's voice may change depending on the genre of the text. We know that. All right, and then we have mood, the emotions and feelings that are shown that to you and the emotions that you feel whenever you're reading a text. It could be mystery or fantasy or an article, depending on the genre. Because remember, genre affects the way a story is told. We learned that in the previous lessons. And then we have anecdote. It's just a short, fun story uh, related to a character or event. For example, when you're in a field trip and a teacher tells the students about something that happened in the past with her classmate. That's one example of anecdote. All right, and we have this too, language, and this is very important. This is what we're going to talk about, and what we're going to practice next. It's a vocabulary, like nouns, sensory words, like the five senses we talk about, like visualization, and vivid verbs and adjectives, descriptions that make the text more interesting. It's one thing to say, Selma was eating popcorn. Simple, right? But you don't want to read it. You want to read something like this. Each kernel of the buttery popcorn crunched loudly in Selma's mouth. Now we know the kernel is buttery. You can also almost feel it in your mouth, the sticks of butter, and then crunch loudly. You can hear it also, and you can feel in your mouth crunchy. All of those are, adjectives and words that enrich the text and make you kind of think about it and feel it. That's the language. That's when the author writes those words for you to feel it. All right, and hyperbole, we talked about it. It's one of the bigger languages, as sensory words are. That just exaggerate to convey or to show you an idea or a feeling to you. This is an example. That's the best idea I've ever heard in my life. It's an exaggeration, but it's a way to show you what the author is saying. Now, this is what we're going to do. We are going to read natural disasters. Who studies natural disasters? I'm sorry, I don't have the page, but it's just the first text that we have for natural disasters. Just look it up in your book. Um, and you're going to be looking for words that show you author's craft, something that is showing you a sense or how, like the voice of the author, or what is the mood? Is it an serious and thoughtful article? Is it a fantasy text? Is it a mystery? Is the author telling you a short, funny story about what happened? Are you trying to see words that are vivid that you can almost touch or feel or taste or hear or smell or all of those senses? Or is the author being exaggerated? You're going to think about it and you're going to answer some of the questions in a Google form that I share with you. All right? So kudos and keep up the good work. See you around. Okay. This is taking